Thank you for checking out my video. I really love Hatsune Miku and enjoy sharing some of that dedication by making videos all about her. To improve my content, I decided to launch my own Patreon page, where you can support me if you feel like Miku's magic reached you by watching them, with neat rewards waiting too. Link in the description. Well, that's all, and now enjoy the new video. Hey! Thank you to Miku. Kevin here. If you clicked on this video, you know what to expect. Another detailed look at the Miku live concert. More details for the annual Magical Mirai have just been announced, so it's just a perfect opportunity to go back in time and look at the beginning of this magical series, Magical Mirai 2013. It was the only Mirai I didn't attend myself, but at least watched it via livestream back then. So how did it all begin? Well, find out now. And don't worry, the Countryside 2012 review will be next. Believe it or not, Magical Mirai 2013, which took place on August 30th in Yokohama Arena near Tokyo, is actually the biggest Miku gig so far, looking at how many people fit the venue, a stunning 14,000 of them. After concerts with the Countryside Miku brand for the last few years prior, fans wanted something fresh, and they sure got just that. In my journey to review all Miku concerts relevant to me, I began with the most recent one a few months ago, Magical Mirai 2016. Now it's time to have a good look at the origin of this fascinating series. What makes these concerts so special that after so many years they still stick to the same name, and even Miku's 10th birthday will actually be celebrated by the 5th annual Magical Mirai this year. I'm sure it will make more sense by the end of the review. This one changed things up quite a bit compared to all of Miku's live appearances before. As always, there's the excited crowd eager to see Miku appear, calling out for a name. Then, ambient sounds get played with visual effects on screen. The mood created here is mysterious, which is kind of weird, but soon it changes into a more upbeat tune and the audience gets even more excited. The whole stage is nice and colorful looking. The start of the concert is one of the best ones ever. Miku appears on stage in her best costume period, as I recently discussed in my top 10 models video, and performs Sweet Devil, the most popular Hachi-OGP song. For the first time in this high energy song, the crowd gets to see the new look of Miku. The character models are different to Miku-pon Countryside concerts. It combines both strong points to the definitive way for Miku to look live, extremely cute but yet realistic. The band is on the top of the stage, leaving Miku with the entirety of the lower level. Sounds like a cool idea, but I don't like it much, makes Miku feel a bit too separated from the action. In this song, Miku appears to be a bit transparent at times, which is not really a problem later in the concert fortunately. The song itself is so perfect. Miku's voice sounds very sexy and the part ending with "I love you baby" gives me goosebumps every time listening to it. Nijiki and Dream Fever. To me this is an anthem for 2D girls, representing everything they stand for with Miku's electronic voice. Sadly, this first performance of the song ever is by far the worst and is due to an interesting fact about this concert in general. The entire arrangement is pretty unique to any other Miku concert, giving most songs a very particular sound. This song sounds worse because it lacks energy in the normally amazing chorus. Other than that, does Miku's costume not only glow, which is pretty cool, they also have some effects behind Miku in the solo, as well as a huge top screen that's being used in many songs to come. What I just said is even more apparent in Cat Food. This song is also performed in later concerts, but sounds very different in here. The intro especially has a very heavy feel to it, but I really like it for this song as it turns out. I really love how there is some direct interaction with the band. In one part the guitarist looked directly at Miku, acknowledging her presence. Other cool parts include the dance and the solo in which you can hear the crowd pretty loudly, as well as the very cute ending part where Miku mimics a kitten. The introduction of Miku, sorry to say, but this is one of my major negative aspects of this concert. They didn't tune Miku's voice with their regular vocal program, but actually let the original voice provider Saki Fujita record these parts with her real voice and then edit that. Sure, Miku sounds very realistic here, but that's not what fans want. This is just not her voice. As a result, I'm not even that sad that the introduction is very short. At least the original costume is a nice touch as well as the magic trick. The first slower song is Karakuri Pierrot, which is a necessary part of any concert, but I'm just not too keen on this particular one, a bit too uneventful in terms of dancing or anything else. Nevertheless, it's always nice just focusing on Miku's voice. Adihuri Taseka Sefko is a very crazy song, upbeat and chaotic. The author is famous for these kinds of songs and this might be my favorite of his works in general. The dance in the solo is pretty cute too. By the way, so far every single song had Miku in a unique costume, which is pretty amazing. And this trend will continue in the next few songs too. Everybody remembering my Mirai 2016 review will think they know what's coming. The song returned for that year and I really didn't speak highly of the song at all. Surprise! Because of the very different instrumental, I actually really like this original take on the song. The extended intro is fantastic and just in general, the heavier interpretation makes Dobutsu Aranai sound much more interesting here. It's just a cool contrast to Miku's cutesy voice in a song where Miku looks even younger than usual. Not gonna make the same shock again as last time on that though. I can't stress enough how much the band influences this concert. After the last song gave it a much bigger impact, I'm sorry to find the opposite for Shinkai Shoujo. In later concerts this will be a very emotional song, mainly due to the powerful chorus, but this year they used a very soft approach which makes the chorus lose most of its power, also apparent in almost no cheering compared to later years. The solo usually is the climax but also falls flat. At least the general feel of the water theme is unaffected. Luca walks on stage and you can even hear the sound the high heels produce very clearly. They show pre-rendered close-ups of her on the top screen, a cool touch indeed. This is a good representation of Luca without a doubt, but I'm just not that big of a fan of the song. Let's not forget about the boob physics. Sorry, not going there again. Quite frankly, Kaido was treated pretty badly in concerts prior, only getting to sing Panetidea, where he sounded more like a hysterical woman if anything. Finally, he can show that his voice can sound pretty good, if only in this duet with Len. They alternate singing for the most part and give their all together in the chorus. I have to say that the dance deserves particular attention too. Must have been a treat for all the female fans. Miku's song is a two-edged sword in my opinion. Piano for the Scandal is one of her most famous songs, so it makes sense, but I'm just not big on jazzy songs at all. I have to admit though, from a musical point of view, the numerous solos are pretty fabulous, but surprisingly, the same cannot be said for Miku's dancing while this is going on. I don't know, I just don't think this was the best way to give Miku a place to shine. On another note, commenting on what I said before, it's really a shame how the band's performance so much shifted to the back, not only because of the division on stage, but also by how few shots of them are in this recording. Oh, this song. I can't tell you enough how much I love it. Tsuki Kirai, a perfect Lin and Len duet. I know some people think the song is boring, but come on! It's about Len who is in love with Lin, confessing to her and being really nice to her so that she will like him back. At first she doesn't think she has these kinds of feelings at all, but in the end it will be requited love. Both of them use the full width of the stage, acting out fitting movements representing what is going on in the lyrics. Some of Lin's expressions are really cute. Even people further back could see them on close-ups on the screen. The song ends with a lot of energy and a happy conclusion. In a perfect transition, while Lin and Len are still in their adorable pose, Miku appears between the two for the first performance of this legendary live song. With its irresistible energy, it will appear in every future Mirai concert from this point on. For the first time ever, 3 vocalists are on stage. Len even performs some sick breakdancing. I think it's pretty clear why this song is a perfect fit live. It's such an interactive song, forming a deep bond between audience and vocaloids. Hachioji and KC are my 2 favorite producers, so it's no surprise that I love this collaboration song between the 2 of them to death. Miku shows off some incredible dancing in Weekender Girl. It just makes you feel happy listening to it, a very easygoing atmosphere. The way Miku sounds is very high pitched, but it's just the way it should be, even more so in the final chorus sung in a higher pitch, ending on a high note. Compared to the mediocre ID, Freely Tomorrow is a much better live song by the author Michiem, also obvious by the audience reaction. While the verses have a dreamy feel to them, it's all about going nuts in the refrain again. Miku walks around a whole lot, taking advantage of the whole stage. Only one thing is very weird. Near the end, Miku changes back into her regular outfit midway through the song for no apparent reason. Why? After so many powerful songs, it's nice to cool down a bit with Last Night Goodnight, a very slow song. It gets me every time when Miku starts singing after the long piano intro. That voice breaking the silence is just gorgeous. Just sit back and enjoy the main theme being repeated over and over, and I don't mean that in a bad way, while looking at the pictures on the top screen and then tearing up when seeing the sad expression on Miku's face. Gee, what a change of pace! Just look at that intro! I'm very sad that this is the only time ever Leia is being played live. Maybe because only this concert had such a heavy band arrangement, I don't know. Anyhow, this is one of my favorite Luca songs of all time. Her voice is just a perfect fit for songs like these. The chorus is a very memorable melody indeed, only topped by the kick-ass guitar solo, performed by the only western-looking guy in a Miku band to date. No change of pace at all. Toki Teddy Bear combines 2 cool aspects of Lin. She too is a good fit for songs like these, but is also wearing a charming hood. The crowd shows their full support in this beloved song, but who could blame them? The mysterious voice combined with these lovable gestures? There's no way they would not act like that. The colorful stage lights are a nice addition to the big picture too. There's no end to heavy songs like these, is there? Well, I'm certainly not complaining. I have to admit that this song never really grew on me much. It's my least favorite song of the author for sure. I just don't dig the tuning of her voice. I forgot to mention that this is their third song in a row where the vocalists actually have a guitar themselves. Granted, they don't do much, but it's still nice. Besides all of that, I can't say that I'm not impressed by the whole performance overall. The way the guitarists interact with Miku once again is something I wish they would do more. They move all over the place, making this song feel a lot more dynamic and special. I bet the crowd is tired by now, so they must be relieved to find out the next song is Glow, another ballad. Fun fact though, the way you're supposed to move the glow sticks left and right is very tiring in your arms, so this might be one of the most exhausting songs if you follow these movements ironically. I never bothered to check the song's meaning, but just listening to Miku's melancholic voice, I'm sure it's not a happy one. Her expressions are a good fit as well as the app and voice used, and let's not forget about the instrumental, adding to the emotional aspects. Sure, the dancing is very static, but what do you expect from a song like this? But honestly, I'm not too big on this producer's style of tuning either. It sounds a bit too weird, even as if Miku was in literal pain in the chorus. Amazingly enough, so far Tell You What is the first returning song, but of course even that one is a bit different. This is one of Casey's masterpieces, perfect tuning and achieves emotions in me that the previous ballad couldn't. It's a brilliant mix of happiness and pure emotions. Only the audience doesn't show as much love for the song as in future concerts. Another song that is extremely important to me, just like Shake It, this one is such a staple for Miku shows that it has never been cut ever since then. In the song everybody shows appreciation for the many happy moments Miku has brought them, but Miku doesn't want to be the only one receiving presents, and so everybody shows the magical number thank you together. In case you don't know, thank you is the Japanese pronunciation of thank you, and also is Miku's name in a different reading. It's also a tradition that there is nice illustrations on the screen for the song, even if they are not as numerous as in other concerts. So in conclusion, it's just the perfect song to celebrate Miku. Good but not perfect version, especially because Saki Fujita yet again voices Miku in the announcement of this song. After a short announcement that Odds and Ends will be the final song, we are in for yet another tearjerker. Ryo's best work in my opinion, delivering a voice full of feelings. It tells the wonderful and yet sad story of Miku being bored, living together happily with her master who is soon overwhelmed by his popularity. Maybe it's actually a true-to-life story for Ryo himself, I don't know. Miku runs all over the stage once more, releasing all of her dispensable energy. In the part Miku reveals how sad her master has become, you can really see on her face how much she suffers because of that, which is even more apparent in the slow bridge. Is everybody crying yet? Luckily the song ends with a furious finale and the release of confetti. Here you can see the only clear shot of the audience. I spot some very happy faces and trust me, I can relate to that. Nothing to say about the chant for more, all people scream Miku a bit out of sync. Wow, this really is a big arena. The choice for this encore song is the first in a series of strange decisions. It's the second song returning from earlier concerts. Why didn't they save a new song as the encore? Not only that, but why 1/6 out of the Gravity? It's a nice song, good melody but nothing special at all. It seems like they ran out of ideas for this encore. At least the instrumental makes it a bit more special as always. With all the great things this concert has brought, this is by far the worst band member introduction in any Miku concert ever. It's cool that Miku actually wears a promotional shirt for the event itself, but other than that, well, first of all, there isn't any beat going on, they just go about announcing everybody in the band. Miku does it herself, but you know what I'm about to say, it's not Miku's voice. Not only that, after every solo she adds a yay, which is just weird, it makes me cringe. At least the solo of the drummer is pretty neat, even twirling his drumstick in the process. The audience calling out Miku's name is not bad either. Yuma Yuma is the last song. Yeah, not only is this yet another returning song, but it's also the final one, making this the shortest encore to date too. Anyway, forgetting about that, it's definitely a blast to listen to. For the last time, everybody cheers together with loads of energy in this happy love song. The pose with the little heart Miku forms as well as the wink is always something to be ecstatic about. There actually is a close-up of Fujita-san singing. Really, why? You can't hear her anyway. Luckily so. So that's really it. Some shots of the band first. Then, if it wasn't strange enough what they did with the encore, they even add a mean tease where Miku comes on stage one last time in the Mirai costume after the audience understandably so screams for more. Only to tell the people that yep, that's it, please go home now. I mean, I can't be angry at Miku, but that's just mean. Anyway, still many things to be happy about, so the crowd does just that, celebrating what they just experienced as Hajimete no To comes on and the credits roll. think it's obvious that this concert was a very important step in Miku's concert history. It was the right point in time to start something fresh and not just keep repeating the similar set lists of early events. Magical Mirai began something amazing and would change just enough every year to stay fresh, as we will find out in later reviews, but let's summarize. So as I said, this concert changed things up quite a bit, the most obvious switch being the almost completely new setlist, which must have been quite a treat for the audience, even featuring tons of original costumes. The only downside to this is the crowd was probably not familiar with a lot of the songs, making the atmosphere suffer a bit, especially considering the huge venue. To foreshadow a bit, they pretty much solved this issue in the coming years by releasing a bunch of the new songs prior to the concert on CD, so that people could make themselves familiar with them, a clever move. Let's look at the visuals. Another major change was the character models used, which are a modification of the ones from the Project Diva series, a perfect fit and the standard from here on. Miku just looks perfect like this. Further adding to the visual aspects was a giant screen on top with some fancy effects and close-up shots for some songs, as well as a good underlining night show. The space reserved for the vocalists in general was bigger for the first time, giving them enough room to move all over the stage. The projection quality itself is very good with only minor problems. So there were loads of great new things, right? But as you might expect, with so many changes they didn't get everything right 100% the first time around. First of all, I kind of dislike how the band and the singers are so clearly divided into different parts of the stage, with the band being on top the entire time, which is just a bit unnatural. Well, this year was the only time they ever chose that layout. Oh, the times where the guitarist directly interacted with Miku were amazing though. In general, the band did their job just fine as always, but were not very memorable at all. Furthermore, I really dislike a lot that they hit the original voice provider of Miku, Saki Fujita, on stage. She actually joined Miku singing the song's choruses, which was a baffling choice in several ways. First of all, sorry Fujita-san, but the audience does not want to hear you singing. This is a Miku show, but then again, you couldn't even hear her anyway, so it was just really pointless. The worst aspect about that issue is that they recorded her for Miku's talking parts and didn't use the standard Miku voice, which is just terrible and against the whole point of a virtual idol. But they noticed that mistake too, and thankfully never did it again in future concerts. Miku actually talks very little in the entire concert aside from that. A few more words about the band. It is stunning what a big role they actually have in these concerts. The arrangement of a lot of songs sounds so different in this one. The whole feel of many songs is much heavier. Some songs actually benefited from that, while more sounded a bit budget in my opinion. But hey, one thing is for sure, just because of that, this year is very unique compared to later versions of the same songs. Gee, I need to come to an end. One last flaw is the encore, which was incredibly short, featured a pretty lackluster band member introduction, and felt a bit like they forgot to save a highlight for the very end. This event would have benefited from a theme song, which would become a great addition to future events, giving those kind of their own identity. Man, I'm really sorry. Doesn't sound too convincing that this concert started something really great, does it? I didn't intend it to sound like that at all. I'm just trying to say that there were some clear flaws in the process of so much change. This doesn't mean I don't like the concert, on the contrary, I welcome many of the changes. I liked most of the setlist a lot, Miku's character model was finally perfect, and it certainly assured a bright future for Miku events. Of course it wasn't perfect, that's basically my point. I love the concert for what it started, but comparing it to all other events of the same series, I just have to say that it is without a doubt the weakest of them all, as a result of its many minor issues. Thank you very much as always for watching. I make all kinds of Miku videos, so why not subscribe? If you enjoyed this particular video, you can give it a thumbs up, comment or even share with your friends, why not? Don't forget to check out the next Project Diva video in 2 weeks, and of course the concert review afterwards, so stay tuned and have a nice Miku day!